Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our Institution of Global Professional Free International webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this marvelous session, and I hope you stay with us till the program end. And time to time, you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel for upcoming information. Before we have completed our 839 webinar successfully. Now I will be presenting webinar number 840, and the topic is the impact of students' self-esteem on academic performance. Today we have a two speaker from Philippines. Before starting the program, I request everyone to share this webinar in your newsfeed and social media. And don't forget to mention your friends in the comment box to join this session. Today our first speaker Today our first speaker name is Jumairi Julian Del Mundo. She is a senior high school teacher of Division of Rizal, Moram National High School. Let's welcome our speaker to the screen. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So it is such a great honor for me to be one of the presenters to talk to you. Thank you for your introduction, sir. I want to take this time to express my gratitude to the global professionals for providing us with such a lovely experience, sir. Thank you so much, IGP, for the wonderful opportunity to speak and share with everyone something which hopefully could help our dear participants with their professional and personal growth as well. Thank you so much, IT. Shall I start now my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Please tell me if my presentation is visible. All right. So I don't want to waste even a single second of your time. So without further ado, let me start my discussion. So I will be presenting the first part of our topic or the first part of our action research. And then later on, you will be meeting my partner on this research. I know most of us here are educators. And as educators, it is understandable that we place a great value on our students' academic achievements, right? And from a humanistic approach, as mentioned by an author Martinez in 2007, he stated that academic performance is the product given by the students and it is usually expressed through school grades. And another author by the name of Pizarro, 15 years ago, referred to academic performance as a measure of the indicative and responsive abilities that express in an estimated way what a person has learned as a result of a process of education or training. It is also stated in the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 14, Section 1 of the Republic of the Philippines, that the state shall protect and promote the rights of all the citizens to quality education and shall take the necessary step to make such education accessible to all. This clause underlined the importance of high schools providing high quality education and guidance to students. And prior to joining university, the school's specific guidance programs assist students in determining career decisions and objectives. However, we must never forget or lose sight of the fact that we must also consider the well-being of our students. We must be aware of the red signals that our students display. We must also be sensitive to their actions and reactions and even their gestures. It's not that we are being paranoid or something, but it's more of a caring and concerned attitude. Teachers nowadays have a lot of observations about students' personalities and academic performance. While it is true that some students are recognized as awardees, receiving titles such as honors, high honors, and even the highest honors. But there are still a lot of students who are unable to perform better due to a lack of self-confidence, and the lack of self-confidence, which is usually a result of having low self-esteem. We teachers, we always place a greater emphasis on students' performance, right? We get disappointed when students fail to achieve high scores on our quizzes or examinations, or when they neglect to submit requirements, resulting in failing grades. And when a high achieving student receives a low grade or is not performing well, our attention is immediately drawn. We actually immediately call the attention of the student and talk to him or her. But on the other hand, sometimes, whether we admit it or not, there are times when we fail to notice what a low performing student or a tardy student or a very silent student truly needs. But if we will try to dig deeper as to what the underlying concerns are, I am sure that we would be able to figure out what these students really need. Although everyone lacks confidence at times, but those with low self esteem are unhappy or dissatisfied with themselves most of the time. Low self esteem is associated with low self confidence, and vice versa, of course. This self confidence means you're comfortable and competent navigating a variety of situations in life, which can have a significant impact on your overall well being. Self esteem, often known as self worth or self image, and it refers to a person's overall perception of himself or herself as defined by Santrop. It's how we think of ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. It refers to how we think about our appearances, our abilities, our interpersonal relationships, and our future goals. As educators, we know how important self esteem is, right? Not just for students, but for everyone. And why is it important? Of course, because our decision making process, our relationships, our emotional health, and overall well being as well are all influenced by our self esteem. It also affects motivation, since people who have a healthy, positive self esteem are more aware of their capabilities and may be motivated to take on new challenges. According to studies, there are different factors contribute to influence our self-esteem, such as genetics, personalities, life experiences, thoughts, age, health, comparing self to others, social circumstances, and the reaction of others. There are actually three types of self-esteem. They are the inflated self-esteem, the low self-esteem, and the high self-esteem. When we say low self-esteem, these are the people who think of themselves as below average. They do not believe in themselves. They do not trust in their abilities and they do not place value on themselves. You know, low self-esteem can affect a lot of things in one's life. And some of the effects of low self-esteem are poor relationships, addiction, depression, and anxiety. In high self-esteem, these are the people who tend to love and accept themselves. They believe in themselves and their abilities. They have the confidence that whatever challenges might come, they will be able to surpass it. Some of the benefits of having high self-esteem or the healthy self-esteem includes being able to be yourself without the fear of being judged, readiness to accept new challenges, not always searching for approval from other people, readiness to learn new things because you are accepting that you do not know everything, and also knows how to take corrective criticism. People who have high self-esteem have enhanced initiatives and pleasant feelings, and they are more pleasant to be around. The last one is the inflated self-esteem. People with inflated self-esteem tend to think of themselves as better than other people, and they are always ready to underestimate others. This is actually a very negative type of self-esteem because it prevents people who have it from forming meaningful and healthy relationships. They always want to be ahead, and most times they do not mind hurting people to achieve the success they desire. People with inflated self-esteem do not have the ability to listen to others, but rather they constantly blame others and undervalue them, and also adopt a hostile attitude and behavior towards others. They are always ready to brag, to hide their incompetence, and they have a great fear of rejection and failure, which is the reason they feel the need to camouflage. People like this can change, but it has to start with them accepting it. They need to realize that they are humans who are prone to fail and make mistakes. This one, I included this in my discussion so that you can somehow analyze or identify or may think of a particular students having these signs while you are listening. Or maybe too, we are also experiencing some of the signs. And here are just some of the signs that a person is having low self-esteem. Number one is the lack of self-trust. When someone lacks confidence about who they are and what they can do, and because they do not trust themselves, most of the time they feel incompetent. They feel unloved, or they feel that they are not good enough. And people with lack of self-trust are always afraid to make mistakes or letting other people down. So that's the first sign, lack of self-trust. Number two is constantly comparing his or herself to others. So how people having this attitude tends to always evaluate how they are doing as compared to others, which often leads to negative thoughts. And this tendency is called social comparison because they tend to compare themselves to others most of the time. And this could lead to negative and anxious thoughts that are hard to come out of. The next one is engaging in people pleasing behavior. Sometimes people engage in people pleasing behavior because they don't value their own desires and needs. Well, being kind and helpful is a good thing, of course, but going too far to please others can leave you feeling emotionally depleted, feeling stressed and anxious. So these are the people who cannot say no to others. They keep on saying yes to others. The next one, number four, is you feel little control over your life. You cannot make your decisions for yourself. You always depend your decision on what others would feel or say about it. And then it would lead you to be unproductive. The next one is you don't reinforce boundaries. Healthy boundaries empower us to take charge of our life. And if we don't set healthy boundaries and we are to constantly be at the mercy of others, we are just allowing others to tell us how to think, how to act, and even how or what to feel. So you end up spending time and energy doing what others want you to do over doing what you really want to do. So those are some of the signs that people or an individual is having low self-esteem. Actually, there are a lot of signs, but these are just some of the general signs of low self-esteem. So if you know someone or a student whose these signs are very observable and evident, then maybe he or she needs your help, our help. In our study, we tried to find out what are the implications of self-esteem to the academic performance of students. We have come up with this kind of study because we have noticed the a lot of referrals of concerns of the students in the guidance office and also as observed by the teachers. We observed that there are students in the senior high school who are having difficulty performing better in class because of less self-confidence. They tend to get shy. They tend to they tend to be afraid to recite. They are uh, they are very shy or even not participating at all because they think that they are not good enough. Some are not even confident to read or lead a simple prayer. And sad to say, there are incidents of students who committed suicide due to some reasons that are related to self-esteem. And we don't want this to happen to our learners. So, having these observations and facts mentioned a while ago, we have come up with this study, having believed that it could bring enlightenment to everyone concerning the real needs of students and how these needs will be satisfied. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for my part. The process and the procedures of the results of the study will be discussed by my partner later. Thank you so much for listening and see you all again later.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Dear participants, now we are going to invite our second speaker. Today, our second speaker name is Maria Cecilia St. She is a senior school teacher of Division of Rizal, Morong National High School. Let's welcome our speaker to the screen.
Good afternoon,
Hello, ma'am.
everyone. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. It's
Good
an honor
afternoon,
to
ma'am.
be
Thank you.
here, afternoon in the Philippines, and I hope everyone is okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining. And give a short description about yourself, then you can start your presentation.
Yes, thank you for your wonderful introduction. Can I start, sir, now?
Yes, ma'am, you can start now.
Okay. Uh, my topic is all about the following: the framework, self-esteem, and academic performance of senior high school, the action research and research questions, the significance of the study, and the conclusion, recommendation, and also the implications. In our research, we try to find out what are the implications of self-esteem to academic performance. Okay. The topic is all about the framework. I'm going to start in the framework in self-esteem and academic performance of the senior high school. Specifically guided by our framework, this study seeks to determine the self-esteem of the respondents as perceived by the different aspects and to know the relationship that exists between the self-esteem and the level of academic performance of the respondents. In the innovation, intervention, and strategy, the working framework for dealing with self-esteem and academic performance is designed to help students build self-improvement activities that may apply in their daily lives. The respondent's profile should always be included in the survey in order to determine the factors that generate self-esteem concerns as well as the variables of self-esteem in order to develop self-improvement activities. This was ingrained in the questionnaire checklist creation, validation, distribution, retrieval, and tabulation process. This study was banked on the theory which is related to self-esteem and performance of senior high school students. The researcher reference is the theory of hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. According to Maslow, we have five categories of needs: physiological, safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. In this theory, higher needs in the hierarchy begin to emerge when people feel they have sufficiently satisfied the previous needs. Satisfaction of self-esteem needs generates feeling and gratitude, attitudes of self-confidence, self-worthy, capacity, and the feeling of being useful and necessary in the world. According to Maslow, frustration of these needs lead to feelings and attitudes of inferiority, enoughness, weakness, passivity, and dependency. This negativity, self-perceptions give rise to basic discouragement, a sense of futility and hopelessness in dealing with life's demand, and low evaluation of self and others. This condition is most likely able to lead to poor performance due to lack of drive as learners tend to fear their abilities. We have come up with 5 action research questions which we attempted to investigate on the self-esteem and academic performance of our senior high school students. First, first question is that what is the profile of the senior high school students in terms of sex, age, parents, occupations, and type of family? The second question that we have is what is the extent of self-esteem of the respondent as perceived by themselves with respect to personal ability, family, social interaction, and emotional stability. Third is that what is the level of academic performance of the respondent is as revealed by their average grades. Fourth, is there a significant relationship between the extent of self-esteem and their level of academic performance as revealed by their average grades? And lastly, we have what self-enhancement activities may be proposed to enhance the self-esteem and academic performance of senior high school students. There are a lot of significance in this study. Among the school administrator, it will motivate them to guide their teachers in incorporating to their lessons activities that will develop more the self-esteem of the students. To guidance counselors, they will guide in designing activities suited to the development of the students' self-esteem. They may be motivated to take an initiative as well to implement the proposed program. Also, we have the significance to our students. It gives insights to the students of the importance of self-esteem in their class performance. Among parents, they may be enlightened on the overlooked importance of developing self-esteem of their child, which should start at home. Realize the importance of follow-up and cooperation with teachers regarding their child's performance. To the community, we have the Sangguniang Kabataan. It's an organization of youth that may organize an event or a program that would encourage youth to showcase different skills. Who are the participants in our action research? They are the senior high school students of Morong National High School. Morong National High School is the biggest public school in our town in Morong, Rizal. We have the 568 grade 11 students from 20 sections under the different strands were randomly chosen by the researchers from academic and technical, vocational, and livelihood track. These participants were chosen through simple random sampling technique and were asked to answer the questionnaire checklist. What about the data gathering method? We use the descriptive survey research, which is the most appropriate for the study since we aim to investigate or to know the self-esteem and academic performance of our senior high school students of Morong National High School. We also use the documentary analysis since the average grades of the students for the first semester of school year 2019 to 2020 were used to determine the academic performance. We conducted it during the second semester, first quarter of the school year 2019-2020 or the pandemic year. For this action study to be successful, permission from the different authorities was acquired from the immediate coordinators and school heads. So we gave them letters, approval letters for us to conduct the study. The data that we acquired from the respondents was used for and only for this action research with utmost confidentiality. Results were reported immediately to the school administrations, including the respondents, to establish transparency and to collaborate on possible plan of actions. To determine the profile of the students, frequency, percentage, and rank distribution was used. To analyze the data, we determined the self-esteem of the respondents as perceived by themselves with respect to the different aspects. Weighted means was utilized. Standard deviation was used to determine the level of academic performance of respondents as revealed in their average grades. And lastly, we used the peer-R correlation to determine the significant relationship between the extent of self-esteem and the level of academic performance of the respondents. What are the major findings and results? First, in the profile of the respondents, in terms of age, sex, sibling positions, monthly family income, parents' educational attainment, parents' occupation, and type of family, the finding shows that no significant difference was found in self-esteem between males and females. The result suggests that high self-esteem is an important factor and strengthens the prediction of academic achievement in students. In the extent of self-esteem of the respondents as perceived by the respondents in terms of personal ability, family, social interaction, and emotional stability, the results indicate that the respondents are often confident with their abilities. This shows that they are proud of what they are doing and can express their ideas and opinions. This implies that the respondents have habitual manifestations of their personal abilities, indicating that being confident of what they acquire, how they perform, how they understand others, and how they showcase sensitivity with others is a key to success. Hence, all these are just parcels of self-esteem. Findings revealed also that the self-esteem of the respondents is often affected by family. This connotes that the family serves as an inspiration to uplift the spirits of the respondents. This connotes that the respondents usually adjust to the environment he is into. This implies that the respondents can build relationship and can work with different people. Likewise, getting along with other people can easily attained. Another findings that this implies that social interaction and being accepted by a circle of friends and even people around the respondents enhance self-esteem, considering that the trust given to the respondents develop courage and self-confidence that are both contributory to self-esteem. The results indicate that the emotional stability often affects self-esteem. This shows that managing emotions can really influence one's confidence, uplifting one's self-confidence, can expand one's self-worth. This led to an implication that the stability or consistency of emotion may lead to solid self-esteem, thus elucidating that the respondents who have stable emotional management are not easily affected by negative thoughts and actions. They are not easily engaged, angered, nor scared. They handle things normally as they are because of their self-esteem is high. The summary on the extent of self-esteem of the respondents, this shows that the family is regarded as one of the factors that influence self-esteem. This means that the family can really help uplift the self-worth of a person. This also implies that a regular manifestation of self-esteem are practiced by the respondents because there is a positive influence from their environment. Thus, their personal management, family, and other people around them contribute to their progressing self-esteem. The similarity lies in the idea that the aspects from self to family, teachers, and other aspects have roles to play in the progressing self-esteem of the learners. In the level of academic performance of the respondents as revealed by their average grade, it can be inferred that the respondents' academic performance is influenced by their self-esteem. Indeed, parents play a vital role in molding the holistic well-being of the students. It can also be implied that there are pupils who have persevere and got a very satisfactory performance. Furthermore, findings imply that they get their desire to study from other sources like their teachers, classmates, or other family members. In number 4, which discuss the significant relationship between the academic performance and the extent of self-esteem of the respondents, the result shows that the self-esteem is an individual trait, that the high self-esteem promotes learning. Therefore, emphasizing the higher self-esteem will give promising results for children since self-esteem helps uplift oneself. Enhancing it will lead to better self-esteem and also reduce the risk of suffering from anxiety. And lastly, the last findings that we have is the in self-enhancement activities to enhance the self-esteem and academic performance of the senior high school students. Based on the findings, the researchers crafted self-enhancement activities to develop the self-esteem and academic performance of the senior high school students. symposiums on 3S of life, an e-learning seminar on self-love, self-care, and self-worth. We have also another activity. It is the Ring Heart. It is a self-esteem card making that aims to promote educational success and expresses positive feeling about themselves and others. Another activity that we have is the Family Feud. It is crafted, which is an online family competition of talents and skills. Lastly, the self-esteem check activity, wherein the self-esteem checklist will be administered to students to see whose students need interventions or assistance. In the findings of the conclusions, in light of the findings of the study, the foregoing conclusions are formulated. Self-esteem does not rely on age, sex, occupations of parents of the respondents alone. Respondents were able to be moderately calm when confronted with a problem and relies on self-coping activities to solve. Having a healthy self-esteem can increase confidence of students, but academic performance does not rely on their self-esteem manifestation in coping with day-to-day experiences. Among the recommendations that we have is, first, student with a low self-esteem may be handled and guided by the guidance counselor individually and or group for them to learn to boost their self-esteem rather. Number two, teachers may establish open communications with the students who are manifesting low self-esteem to help them cope and develop their social being as well as trust with their relatives or guardians. Third, we have the third recommendations that we have is the teachers may inform the relatives or guardians about the manifestation of low self-esteem and inform them of their academic performance. And in number four, we have the proposed action plan prepared by the researcher may be considered for utilization. And lastly, last recommendation that we have is to parallel students may be initiated to identify the extent of effects of self-esteem using other variables. And here are the implications. First, the action research has once again proven that family have a great influence on the development of self-esteem. This shows that its implication to the students, to the educational system, and to the community as well. Then having healthy self-esteem, students would feel confident and capable. They would be proud of the things that they can hold, they can do, and may possibly have the courage to join contests bearing the name of the school, which would bring pride and honor. The results also further suggest that the educational system should not only focus on the academic aspects, but also with the psychosocial and emotional aspects of the students. If home and schools produce children with positive and healthy self-esteem, there will be less cases, less conflicts, or troubles involving youth in the community. And that's all for the second part of the presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for your thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your explanation and for this topic. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, now
It's an
we are going to
honor.
our
It's an honor
okay,
for
ma'am.
me to present, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And we are now going to our quiz competition. And after that, we come back again with our another speaker in our Q&A session. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Dear participants, now we are going to our quiz competition. Today, our quiz code is IGP. The code is IGP. Let's we enjoy our quiz video. Dear participants, this is our quiz session time. You can join this session by slido.com and put our quiz code is IGP. The code is IGP. You can scan our QR code from the screen to join this live quiz session. Today, top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. You can also mention your friends in the comment box to join this live quiz session. We start our quiz competition in a short time, so join the hurry up and mention your friends in the comment box. Like this. Dear participants, after 1 minute later, we start our quiz competition. So join the hurry up and mention your friends in the comment. To join the session, you have to go to slido.com, and after that you have to put the code, and the code is IG. Then you can join this session. We start our quiz competition now. Be ready. Our first question is: bullying can impact the academic performance of a student. Is it true or false? The statement is true. Our next question is: self-esteem has no effect on academic achievement and success. Is it true or false? The statement is false. Our next question is: the dash is a permanent academic record of the student at college. Is it transcript or faculty? Option number one, transcript is the right answer. Next question is: high level of self-control is a good predictor of student academic achievement. Is it true or false? The statement is true. Next question is: criticizing students damages their self-esteem and should be avoided. Is it true or false? The statement is false. Next question is: our experiences have no impact on how our brain develops. Is it true or false? The statement is false. Next question is: when engaging in academic self-regulation, it is best to wait until the professor provides you feedback or use external data if available. If not, use your own judgment. Option number two, use external data if available, and if not, use your own judgment. Is the right answer. Next question is: the expectancy effect has no impact on students because research are unbiased. Is it true or false? The statement is false. Next question is: the lack of sleep causes poor performance in school. Is it true or false? The statement is true. Last question is, which time perspective is most linked to student success? Is it past or future? The statement is future. Thank you everyone for your participation in this session. Now we are going to see our leaderboard. Yes, on the leaderboard, now the top position is Joel Banasar, and the second one is Alian Infante, and the third one is Almi Rose, and the following Rosie, Evelyn Piwateri, Lita Ponla, Joandy Delatori, Daisy Dian, Pantu Shuangdi, and the last one is Kandu Tushomo. Thank you everyone. Now we are going to our Q&A session. For a short video clips, we come back again. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Sir, yes, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, this is our Q&A session, and you can send question in the comment box.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Dear participants, this is our
Yes,
Q&A
sir.
session, and you can send your question in the comment box. If you have any question related this topic, you can ask the question in the comment box, and don't forget to mention the name of the speaker. Ma'am, our first question to Ma'am Jumaide, and the question is, how can we help someone with low self-esteem?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. The question is for you, and the
Yes.
question is, how can we help someone with low self-esteem?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Of course, we are all responsible for the well-being of each other. So, we can help someone who has low self-esteem by assisting him or her, or helping him recognize what he or she is good at. For sure, we're all good at something, whether it's cooking, or singing, or doing anything that we are good at. We can help them by building positive relationships with the person, teaching them to be kind to themselves, and learn to be appreciative, learn to say no and not saying yes all the time to everyone asking them something to do for themselves. And we can help them by giving themselves a challenge, and by letting them choose what they really want. to the student or request to them. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Our next question for Ma'am Maria. And the question is, how do
Yes.
we formulate question in action research?
Pardon, sir?
The question is, how do we formulate questions in action research?
Okay. Sir, we formulate questions based on the studies that we have, that we have uh, first is we need to know what is the real situation in our school. That's why we come up with these questions on the how the self-esteem will affect the performance of our students. Is that, sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question is, what should be the approach we execute if we encounter these kinds of students' behavior? And the second one is how to encourage them to have the high self-esteem instead. Ma'am Maria, first you.
Okay. For me, we have in dealing this kind of students, we have to treat our students uh like our children. If we give them the love that the love and the care that they have, we can help them boost their confidence. And also we have to be familiar, or we have to be aware on the attitude of our students, so that we can do something or help them in any way. Thank you.
If I may answer,
Yes, ma'am.
so if we happen to encounter this kind of student, of course, the least we could do is to encourage them to have a healthy self-esteem. Because if you feel to do, maybe we can assist them by helping them feel good about themselves, to feel worthy and respect for let you show your respect to yourself so that others can also will also respect you. And whenever we encountered someone that we think we cannot really handle, we can always refer to a professional or someone who can handle the student's concerns, so that it would not lead into another problem.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, our next question is, what are the challenges you encounter in conducting your research?
Okay. The first challenge that we met during the conduct of this research is that we did this during the pandemic, wherein our students are inside their homes. And luckily, I think this is somehow this is somehow what do you call this, in time, because during the pandemic we knew that the students, some of the students have the problems because they are only inside their homes. Can you add, Mom Joms?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Ma'am Cecil is right. We encounter actually a lot of challenges in conducting this study because upon conducting, the government the Philippine government announced the nationwide lockdown. So we had a problem distributing our questionnaire. But of course, as they say, the show must go on. We 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 gather our data through Google Docs. And lo and behold, we were able to finish our study, and we were able to present the results and the findings to the school administration. And we were able to share it in our division wherein this is called the ranked one in our category, and then to our region, and then through Research Congress, and now we are sharing this with all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have no more questions. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation and wonderful question and answer. Thank you so much, ma'am. And also thanks to share your knowledge with our participants.
Thank you to Sir
Thank
for
you,
the
sir.
opportunity. Thank
Thank you to
you. Thank
the
you, everyone.
opportunity.
Thank you. Dear participants, today our program name is the impact of student self-esteem on academic performance. And today our certification code is IGP 4945. The code is IGP 4945. Please note that code to download your certificate. The code is IGP 4945. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime from our website. Our website address is eduigp.com. Thank you everyone for your active participation in this session. We hope we'll meet together in our next session. Thank you everyone. Stay happy and stay safe.